Hey everybody, it's your pal Drew, and I want to treat you to something all different and pretty spiffy. This is a crossover between three indie darlings, and I say that both professionally done and as well as critically. Just awesome. GRIMJACK, creation of collaboration of Tim Truman, artist, and John Ostrander, writer, and DREADSTAR was Jim Starlin solely, and NEXUS, which was by Mike Barron and Steve Rude, who supplied the cover for this issue here. It was the fifth of five. You had a lot of comics companies doing crossovers. Then you had Crisis on Infinite Earths with like shook everything up, and I kind of after the fact I liked it once they stopped screwing up stuff like Hawkman and timelines. I really enjoyed it, and I was part of that era. Then they did the New 52, and who knows the good or bad of it. I really wasn't in the business with that anyway. I just working on my own stuff. And okay, Drew, what are you talking about here? Well, Eclipse had a crossover called Total Eclipse. I'm going to cover that in a future episode. Now for the players. Luke McDonald, he started off doing fill-in issues on Iron Man and other books for Marvel, and then he got the assignment of doing Iron Man for 2 years after Michelinie, Layton, and JR left the book. And he did a really great job. And my only hang-up was I loved Rhodey as Iron Man, but I hated that it was expensive of Tony. It's like Tony was just a mess. He ended up like laying in his own filth in a gutter on a winter's day, and I just thought, don't shit on one of my favorite characters ever. But anyway, he after that was done, they got Mark Bright, who came over. McDonald went over to, I believe, he actually did some DREADSTAR. I don't know if this is before or after or during. He did about a year on DREADSTAR, starting with issue, I guess it was 32. It was like a year's worth. And it was a good collaboration because Starlin was writing it, and Luke McDonald was kind of developing a different style. It was really interesting. It was more graphic, and also Luke McDonald did the infamous Justice League Detroit stories where you had Aquaman was being the main character. He was the leader. Overall, all these guys like Vixen and Vibe and Gypsy and such, and you had elongated man there, just for I don't know, just to have a little bit of legacy added. And it didn't do that great, but he went on to it was reviled, but there's a giant honking omnibus of all those issues, so it was beloved, like looking in the rearview mirror, and it was still solid stuff. And then McDonald went to, you're probably wondering, is this a Luke McDonald episode? Well, he went on to Suicide Squad with John Ostrander back around this time, actually. And it's so freaking good. I'm going to cover that in a few future episodes. And by the way, NEXUS has been reprinted in full in hardcover forms from Dark Horse Comics. GRIMJACK has had several volumes reprinted by IDW about 10 years ago. DREADSTAR has had a lot of reprints, some not great, and I think there's a new, I can't remember, it was a crowdfunding from Ominous Studios of like the first year or two of DREADSTAR. But Jim Starlin, why is he there on a first publishing comic book? Well, he started Jim Starlin and DREADSTAR. They did the very first book for Epic Comics, which was Marvel's creator-owned line of comics, and he hit the ground running. It was awesome. He had a schedule. Instead of a month or 2 months, bi-monthly, he did it every 6 weeks, and I thought, that's brilliant. Because I've done books, like when I did 52 for DC, me and Pat Olaf had like a 5-week deadline, which is just like, definitely gave us the time to bring our best to the game. And, it's funny how another week or two makes a huge difference. So he's doing it for several years, and then after a while, his contract with Marvel slash Epic, it was it wound down, and it was gone. It was just they let it lapse is what happened, and it wasn't for lack of sales, and it was just a bureaucratic snafu, paper counters, I don't know what. It was never intentional, but somebody screwed up, and he got Jim Starlin got frustrated, and he went over to First Comics, and it was seamless. It was really good, and he fit with that, that group, hanging with these troublemakers. Horatio Hellpop, aka Nexus, he gets these dreams from this creature called the Merc, and who can psychically find mass murderers throughout the galaxy. And he uses Horatio Hellpop, who is a scholar, and he doesn't want to do this sort of thing, but he gets horrible headaches from the Merc if he doesn't fulfill his orders to kill these mass murderers. Okay, there we go. And there's our information there. I kind of told you, but truncated it. I love that. Blow up some inside panels. Inked by Val Mayerick or Mayerick. I apologize. I've heard it both ways. Steve Rude. Willie Schubert, letterer. I've worked with him. Good stuff. It's a real quality book. And I skipped. You're like, Drew, stop being a dick. I skipped the first 4, I think, because I was not keen on them. Like, they had the Badger with John Siebel freelance. You think that's a home run? And the writing was good, but the art was so bland. It was so pedestrian. It was awful. They should have just pulled the plug after a few pages. It was just, I was like, I love Badger, and nope, I didn't buy it. And then they did a crossover with Badger and what's his name, Luther something or other for American Flag. He was that robot with the hologram head, and I was like, I don't care. I mean, he's cool and all, but I'd rather have like Reuben Flag somehow end up there. And well, anyway, I can't remember what the others are. Yeah, it's not important. Well, they put the best for. They saved the best. I just had a hiccup. They saved the best for last. There you see these archaeological ruins that Nexus is studying with his longtime girlfriend Sundra. They're basically married in all but name. All of a sudden, I love that panel. That's a very Steve Rude looking panel. But I'm not accusing him of swiping because he's his own guy. I mean, it goes back to hearing about DREADSTAR's past. And apparently, he helped to destroy a galaxy. DREADSTAR was a pawn, and he didn't know the end result was going to be to destroy the Milky Way. And so this hits on Horatio because he gets those psychic dreams, and he says, it was a dream image of such horror. I can't tell you, the Milky Way was destroyed. The Milky Way, it still exists. I don't understand. You must ask the Merc. I don't want to bother him. And the Merc is the source of Nexus's powers, and he's the hatchet man for this crazed creature. Such beautiful artwork here. Do not call me your son. I am a scholar. They're not really related anyway. Why do you interrupt my research? I've fulfilled my quota of murders, basically. Why did you strike me down? What vision? DREADSTAR. Who? Vance DREADSTAR. France. DREADSTAR is the all anti-Nexus. Every second he lives, we are in agony. Go to the pan-dimensional city and dispatch him. I am a fucking scholar. Well, then we cut to the DREADSTAR, and I love this outfit. It's very basic. It's 10 times better than the superhero costume he had. He originally had the blue togs with the hoodie. Then he made him to a superhero for a year and a half, which I hated. He was like a blue and yellow uniform. He had his power punch, and he could fly. Extremely generic qualities. But then he was in a 2-year coma, woke up. His powers were now limited. He doesn't have his power punch or his sword. But, he's still stronger than most. but I just love the look. It's just that green, that forest green with the it just got nice. It's the opposite of a superhero costume. It's very understated, but very clear to see. So he's fighting a bunch of these guys. I hate these dark colored captions. Well, he's fighting a bunch of thugs, and one stops short thanks to GRIMJACK. And what's wrong with me, Pant? Cynosure will lay you down low. One of the many wildcard viruses that can kill you or turn you into something so you wished you were dead. Some of these viruses are living civilizations. Try not to inhale. You saved my life. He goes, let's go to my bar, Munden's. Oh, wait. They rolled up to one of the main paths to Munden's, my bar. Come on, I'll show you. And he also noticed, he says, I noticed you were successful with projectiles. You also noticed I had to stand outside the zone to fire the local peculiarity. You can't fire within the zone, but you could fire into the zone. Now, why is this? We'll find out shortly. Get out of the path. It's a rolling snowball dimension. Pick it up. If it picks us up, we could be trapped indefinitely. What the hell's a snowball? A rolling dimension. Pray it doesn't take the building. And they go into Munden's bar, and which is owned by GRIMJACK. He finds out that NEXUS is on the hunt, and the subject he's hunting is worth however many zeros this is in credits. Who's the subject? Man's DREADSTAR. I'm being hunted by an executioner of mass murders. Have you committed any murders, Mr. DREADSTAR? He's not known to make mistakes. I destroyed a galaxy. Well, we never heard about it. Drink up and move on. Nexus is rough on the furniture. And what happened? He gets explained what cynosure is. It's a pan-dimensional. If you don't like the weather or the physics or the laws or the rules, walk a block. Dimensional gates can open anytime, anywhere. A burst of energy, such as an explosion or mass hysteria, can also trigger them. Cynosure is protean. Even a secure dimension like this is subject to sudden, nasty changes. So it's really cool. It's a great idea, and that was from GRIMJACK 1. I mean, it's just a really fun idea. You know, you go to, it's kind of like you ever go to a convenience store that's really cool, and then you're like out somewhere, you don't know where you are, and then you go to a convenience store you look around, you're like, I gotta back out of here. I see a lot of, I don't know. It's like, it looks like I'm in the wrong corner and I need to get the FUZK out of here. So it's like that. That guy's using one of those stupid gambling machines. That's just my story about the, well, Clone Zone the Clariator shows up for no particular, just for comic relief. Here comes Nexus. I'm here. Vanth DREADSTAR. Who? You know him. He was just here. Because your place is telepathically disruptive, as you may well know. Get out of here, Zone. Want me to blast him, Mr. Gaunt? Lay off. This is my bar, Mr. Gaunt. I haven't got all day. I'll destroy this place. If you cannot tell me what you know, or I'll destroy your place. And you're going to totally trash the bar in 30 seconds. And he's not affected. I spare no grudge. I bear no grudge. Speak to me. You have 20 seconds. Let's get the hell out of here. Hey, Mr. Gaunt, we just got this place rebuilt. Well, not much I can do about it. And there it goes. Really, really nice stuff. Kind of Mignola-y, but this is his 88, and Mignola was just starting to come into his own with DC's Cosmic something or other. There's a 4-issue series. Well, DREADSTAR just bought himself a bodyguard. And here comes the best friend of Nexus. His name is Judah Maccabee. He's a Thune, and looks very much like a Dr. Seuss character, because that was a lot of the designs that inspired Steve Rude to create some of these characters. So He's on his ledge. Don't do it. Don't jump here. You'll never hit the ground. That's what they... That's all right. Thanks. I wasn't contemplating suicide, mister. That's not true. I know. I'm a telepath. And he grabs two of them. Where? Any place but here. So they go to another dimension. And they miss... And they just miss... Nexus just misses them. So you see all these different realities. They kind of jump around, and then they decide to speak telepathically so they can avoid anybody listening in. And what's interesting is GRIMJACK shows up. No. Is that GRIMJACK? I forgot. No, it's Horatio Hellpop. Can I help you? I'm seeking a history of the future. Any particular future, sir? That is highly scarce, sir. May I see your card? I seek a whereabouts of a war criminal passing through Signature. I see level AD. Ask for Mrs. Clanigan. And it's interesting because she's like the architect of writing the future now. You are a piece of it. It's very much like the first Matrix. You know, when that woman towards the end kind of clarifies some information. It's really, but this is very different. But this was, a good 10 years earlier. So now they're in this little quiet dimension, hanging out. There's some bad registration on the colors here, but that doesn't matter. That's a superhero suit I told you I hated. Well, some really cool poses. Nexus. He enters a completely lightless dimension. Gotta get out of here, he says. Shush, babies. Shush. Well, they find out DREADSTAR, and he's got a bounty on his head as well. But not as bad as Nexus. Man's DREADSTAR. Get out of my way. Wait. He goes, let's go. They're attacking Nexus. Let's go. No. What? If Nexus goes berserk and destroys innocent people, he'll blame me. I brought him here. I've got to stop him. And there's not much going on. Whoop. You want me? Here I am. It's just such a great three-way sort of storyline that really fits. It's not contrived at all. I mean, they're all, they're energy-based. He's energy adjacent. And just really great stuff. So they get into another dimension before Nexus does. And what do you mean? I'm too weak to face him. I'm exhausted. I told you, DREADSTAR, there's no power here in this dimension. Nexus blew up my bar. I intend to teach him a lesson he won't forget. That is so great. I mean, Luke McDonald just grown by leaps and bounds. And... that's right, Hotshot. You're having a reality check. You blew up my bar, remember? Consider this a lesson in humility. I'll be happy to pay for your bar, but I can't abandon my mission. Then, Judah Maccabee, the Thune, shows up. Best friend of Nexus. And more stuff happens, but I'm not going to ruin it for you. I spent too much time anyway. Well, I had to give you the backstory. But next week, or tomorrow, who knows, I will be covering Munden's Bar, which involves a ton of different indie creators. Like it has the Ninja Turtles, it has Milk and Cheese, it has Omaha the Cat Dancer, it has so many, a vampire, and Sam and Max Freelance Police. That's going to be my next episode, because I needed to establish this first. And because basically Munden's Bar becomes a place where any old creator can just pop his characters in and interact in different ways, and it's an all-star lineup of great talents. Anyway, that's it. I'm blabbering now. I'm sorry it took you so long. I keep meaning to make these shorter, but okay. Well, this is your pal Drew. I'm available for commissions. You can check out my text or Twitter under the real that Drew Dracy, and My 3 books available on Amazon exclusively. See? I should have gone to the desk, got my tongue shot with all that Novocaine. Alright, everybody. Peace out.